That's the gospel truth of me. I've shaken hands with men who built this country, and men who tore it down for something worse. I've sat at tables where the deals got dirty and walked away before I got to curse. The road between the righteous and the reckless is thinner than the good book wants to say. I walked it like a tightrope in the darkness, and somehow I am standing here today. And I carry it all, every scar and every drop of blood. Blood and bourbon, that's what runs through these veins. Blood and bourbon, born in sunshine, raised in rain. Southern roots and a restless spirit, everything my daddy couldn't tame. Blood and bourbon, running wild and running free. Blood and bourbon, that's the gospel truth for me. Some men pray for salvation, I pray for one more soul. Some men build their fences, I just keep moving on. The blood don't lie, the bourbon don't pretend, and I'll be rolling on both of them until the very end. Blood and bourbon, that's what runs through these veins. Blood and bourbon, born in sunshine, raised in rain. Southern roots and restless spirit, everything my daddy couldn't tame. Blood and bourbon, running wild and running free. Blood and bourbon, that's the gospel truth of me. Ah, yeah. this is me.
She came in on a Tuesday in November, ordered red wine and asked to sit alone. Had a look about her like she'd been somewhere harder than anywhere this town had ever known. The bartender said she'd been coming every winter, same table, same wine, same faraway stare, like she's waiting on a man who made a promise, or waiting on the courage not to care. And the whole room felt it, something heavy in the air. The woman at table 7 has a story nobody knows. The woman at table 7 came from somewhere nobody goes. She raises her glass to something we can't see from where we stand. The woman at table 7 once loved a complicated man. Once loved a complicated man. I watched her write a letter she didn't finish, fold it up and put it in her coat. Wrote her one more glass she barely touched, then button up and pull her collar close. She left her 20 under the wine glass, caught my eye one moment at the door. Something in that look said she'd found her answer, and she wouldn't need table 7 anymore. And the whole room watched her go without a single word. The woman at table 7 has a story nobody knows. The woman at table 7 came from somewhere nobody goes. She raises her glass to something we can't see from on the quiet nights like this. Once loved a complicated man. Troubles in a bottle, put the bottle on the shelf, put some music on the speaker, put your worries by themselves. The week is done and buried, let the weekend do its work. There's a band that needs an audience, and a dance floor needs to hurt. Come on now, leave it all at the door. Saturday night, for a Saturday night. There's a woman in a red dress who arrived here on her own. There's a man who came here broken, who's been dancing since the third song. There's a table full of strangers who are friends by the second round. This is what the music does when the right band hits the right sound. Come on now, this is what we came for. Sold my soul for a Saturday night, best deal I ever made. Sold my soul for a Saturday night, best price ever paid. The blues are playing, the bourbon's cold, the band is burning bright. I sold my soul, I'd sell it again for a Saturday night. Monday morning's gonna find me with a smile I can't explain, and a voice a little ragged, and no regrets at all. Worth every single minute, worth every single call. Saturday night. Oh, Saturday night. My father's hands were working hands, calloused from a life of honest work. They built things that outlasted him and held things that still hurt. He wasn't a man of many words, kept most things locked inside. Those hands said everything. His voice was too proud to say out loud. And I look down at my own hands now, and I see his every time. My father's hands are living in my hands. My father's strength is something I understand. Too late and just in time, the way it always seems to be. My father's hands are reaching back through me. My father's hands. He taught me how to hold a tool, how to fix what life breaks down, how to stand up straight when standing's hard, how to stay when you want to leave town. He never said I love you in the way the books all say you should, but every single thing he built said everything he could. And I carry him in everything I do with these hands of mine. My father's hands are living in my hands. My father's strength is something I understand. Too late and just in time, the way it always seems to be. My father's hands are reaching back through me. My father's hands. I wish I told him more. I wish I'd asked him more. I wish I'd understood what I was watching before the watching was done. But I know he knew the way fathers always do, that everything he gave me is everything I've become. My father's hands are living in my hands. converted young and answered hard, built his congregation from the nothing, made a church from an abandoned yard, spoke the word on Sunday morning, fed the poor on Saturday night. Everybody in the county said that man was burning bright. But the devil doesn't advertise, he just waits. Preacher turns sinner on a cold December night. Preacher turns sinner when he lost the fight. The cross around his neck got heavier with the years. Preacher turns sinner. Nobody disappears. Counseling, came to him with nowhere left to go. He meant well in the beginning, the way that all such stories go. By the spring he lost his pulpit, by the summer lost his wife, by the autumn lost his congregation, by the winter lost his life. And the good men fall the hardest when they fall. Preacher turns sinner on a cold December night. Preacher turns sinner when he lost the fight. The cross around his neck got heavy with the years. Preacher turns sinner. Nobody disappears. Too severely, he was human after all. Every man who stands on something has a longer way to fall. The grace he preached on Sundays was the grace he needed most. And maybe in the end, somebody offered it. Walked in like the room had been expecting her, like somebody called her head and said prepare. Every conversation stopped mid-sentence, every eye forgot what it was doing there. She the menu or the man behind the bar. And before the band had finished their first number, she was already the undisputed star. Nobody asked her name, nobody needed to. She danced like the devil owed her money, like the floor was hers by right. She danced like the devil owed her something, and she was collecting tonight. Every move a conversation, every step a point of view. She danced like the devil owed her, and maybe he did too. Maybe he did too. Maybe he did too. By the third song, she had company. By the fourth, she had the room. By the fifth, she was the only thing that mattered in that room. She never once looked lonely, never once looked lost. She knew exactly what the night was worth, and she knew exactly what it cost. And everyone who saw it never quite forgot. She danced like the devil owed her money, like the floor was hers by right. She danced like the devil owed her something, and she was collecting tonight. Every move a conversation, every step a point of view. She danced like the devil owed her, and maybe he did too. Maybe he did too. We talked about her for years afterward, in that bar and other bars. The woman who walked in on a Wednesday and briefly made us all feel like She danced like the devil owed her money, like the floor was hers by right. She danced like the devil owed her something, and she was collecting tonight. Every move a conversation, every step a point of view. She danced like the devil owed her, and maybe he did too. Maybe he did too. Maybe he did too. their secrets like he wasn't there. When the big box store came in on the bypass, everyone said Earl was finished then. But the people who knew what Earl was worth kept walking through his door again. Some things you can't put a price on, some men you can't replace. He was the last good man in town, the kind they don't make anymore. The last good man in town was sawdust on the floor. He measured twice and cut once, stood behind everything he sold. The last good man in town, worth more than he was told. Worth more than he was told. When Earl retired, they gave him a dinner. The mayor said a few forgettable words, but the ones who spoke the truest were the people who said he fixed things nobody else could fix. A screen door and a marriage in the same week, a leaking roof and a broken kid's heart. Earl never thought he was doing anything special, just doing his part. And the town was smaller when he stopped. He was the last good man in town, the kind they don't make anymore. The last good man in town, the sawdust on the floor. He measured twice and cut once, stood behind everything he sold. The last good man in town, worth more than he was told. Worth more than he was told. We eulogize the good ones after they are gone. We should have told him louder while the store was still on. But Earl knew the way the good ones always do, that the work itself was thanks enough. He was the last good man in town, heading somewhere I hadn't been yet. 20 years of roads and cities, 20 years of someone else's sky. And every time the temperature drops, I swear I can smell Georgia going by. You can leave a place, but a place doesn't leave you. Carry me, Georgia, back to the red clay road. Carry me, Georgia, back before I got old. The peach trees and the pine trees, the slow August heat. Carry me, Georgia, back to the places I need. Carry me home. My mother kept my bedroom like a shrine, like she knew I'd need somewhere to land. My father kept his opinions to himself. The second time around, he understood. I stood in that old kitchen on a Sunday, smelling biscuits and a life I left behind, and wondered what the $40 cost me and what it bought me. I still haven't defined. Some debts you settle in a kitchen. On a Sunday, carry me, Georgia, back to the red clay road. Carry me, Georgia, back before I got old. The peach trees and the pine trees, the slow August heat. Carry me, Georgia, back to the places I need. Carry me I'm not the boy who left, but I'm his consequence. Everything that road gave me started in that red clay and ends there too. Carry me, Georgia, back to the red clay road. Carry me, Georgia, back before I got old. The peach trees and the pine trees, the slow August heat. Carry me, Georgia, back to the places I need. Carry me home. She took the good dishes and the dog left the rest for me to figure out. Left a note that said she was sorry, which was more than I deserved, no doubt. I sat in that quiet for a long time, in a house that used to hold a life. Took stock of everything remaining when you lose a love that was also your wife. And what I found surprised me. Was more than I expected. What love left behind was more than I protected. The better man I nearly was, the patient I ran out of. What love left behind was a clear view of myself in the worst possible light. What love left behind. I don't blame her for the leaving. I've been leaving long before she went, just leaving from a different direction, toward things I couldn't name and didn't end. The man she married had ambitions. The man she left had habits he called it. And somewhere in between those two coordinates, I lost the map and found it in the leaving. What love left behind was more than I expected. What love left behind was more than I protected. The better man I nearly was, the patient I ran out of. What love left behind was a clear view of myself in the worst possible light. What love left behind. I'm not telling this for sympathy, I'm telling it because it's true. The hardest education comes from the ones who loved you, and loved you well enough to finally stop. What love left behind was more than I expected. What love left behind was more than I protected. The better man I nearly was, the patient I ran out of. What love left behind was a clear view of myself in the worst possible light. What love left behind. The drifter's lullaby. kept me. 100 doors I almost didn't leave. 100 women with 100 reasons, and 100 ways to make a man believe. The morning always finds me with my boots on. The road always sounds louder than the bed. And every town that almost kept me got a postcard from the next one instead. It's not loneliness, it's just the way I'm made. This is the drifter's lullaby, a different ceiling every night. The drifter's lullaby. Another town, another light. Some men are built for staying, some are built to see what's on the other side. This is the drifter's lullaby, and it's the only song that ever felt like home. The drifter's lullaby. I met a man in Baton Rouge who told me that running was just fear with better shoes. I bought him a drink and thought about it, and decided he was half right at best. Because the other half is curiosity, the other half is hunger for the road, the other half is knowing there's a world out there that doesn't fit inside a postcode. And I've been living in that other half. This is the drifter's lullaby, a different ceiling every night. The drifter's lullaby. Another town, another light. Some men are built for staying, some are built to see what's on the other side. This is the drifter's lullaby, and it's the only song that ever felt like home. The drifter's lullaby. Maybe one day I'll find the town that holds me. Maybe one day the road runs out of road. Maybe one day the lullaby stops singing, and I finally put down the load. was 7, left a space that nothing ever filled. My mother did the work of 2 people and loved me twice as hard until I built myself from borrowed pieces, from men I watched and books I read, from musicians who became my fathers, and the music playing in my head, and I make myself out of everything I could find. Nobody's son and everybody's student. Learn the hard way how to stand. Nobody's son, but somehow I got lucky. Found the music, took my hand. The guitar taught me what my father couldn't. The road taught me the rest. Nobody's son, but I turned out alright. Nobody's son did his best. I don't carry anger for the leaving. Anger is a room I chose to leave. I carry something closer to a question that I've mostly made my peace with in the end. What makes a man decide to leave his children is beyond the reach of anything I know. But what makes a child survive the leaving is the music and the places that you go. And I went everywhere the music went. Nobody's son and everybody's student. Learn the hard way how to stand. Nobody's son, but somehow I got lucky. Found the music, took my hand. The guitar taught me what my father couldn't. The road taught me the rest. Nobody's son, but I turned out alright. Nobody's son did his best. If he's out there, if he ever hears this song, I hope he knows I turned out fine. I hope he knows I found my own. I hope he knows I didn't need him after I stopped needing him. Nobody's son and everybody's student. Learn the hard way how to stand. Nobody's son, but somehow I got lucky. Found the music, took my hand. The guitar taught me what my father couldn't. The road taught me the rest. Nobody's son, but I turned out alright. Nobody's son did his best.
The truth gets dressed up for the occasion, and honesty needs somewhere soft to land. I just wanna say one honest thing, without the footnotes and the qualifiers. One true sentence in a world of noise that means exactly what it says. Nothing more, just one honest thing. Is that too much to ask? One honest thing in a world full of spin. One honest thing, let the truth back in. No agenda, no angle, no careful design, just one honest thing. Yours or mine, one honest thing. I've sat in rooms where truth was inconvenient, where the comfortable lie was the preferred route, where the man who said the thing that needed saying was the man thing. Every day impossible. One honest thing in a world full of spin. One honest thing, let the truth back in. No agenda, no angle, no careful design, just one honest thing, yours or mine. One honest thing, that's all.
Evangeline was married to the county, married to a man the county owned, married to a life that looked like something from a distance and felt nothing like a home. 15 years of being what was needed, 15 years of yes and yes and yes, until a Tuesday night in late September, when she finally answered no, and the whole county held its breath. The night Evangeline walked out, the stars were something else. The night Evangeline walked out, she finally found herself. She left the pearls upon the dresser, left the ring beside the sink. The night Evangeline walked out, she didn't even stop to think. She just walked. She just walked. They talked about it for a generation, the way that small towns talk about the bold. The women talked about it with a hunger, the men talked about it in the cold. Some said she was selfish, some said crazy, some said they'd always known she had it in her. But the ones who knew Evangeline the closest said she was the bravest of us all. And they weren't wrong. At night Evangeline walked out, the stars were something else. The night Evangeline walked out, she finally found herself. She left the pearls upon the dresser, left the ring beside the sink. The night Evangeline walked out, she didn't even stop to think. She just walked. She just walked. Lest anyone heard, she was somewhere on the coast, teaching school and painting watercolors and sleeping like she hadn't slept in years. Good for her. Good for her. The night Evangeline walked out, the stars were something else. The night Evangeline walked out, she finally found herself. She left the pearls upon the dresser, left the ring beside the sink. The night Evangeline walked out, she didn't even stop to think. She just walked. She just walked. I spent a long time looking for the somewhere, the place where everything would finally fit, where the restless thing inside me would stop moving, and I could lay the traveling down a bit. I looked in cities, and I looked in country, I looked in faces, and I looked in songs, and everything I found was nearly something. Nothing held me more than it held long, until I understood home was never a place, it was always a feeling. Home was never a place, it was always the people. Where you finally belong, where you finally belong. I found it in the strangest configurations, in kitchens at 2 a.m. with honest friends, the music that said something before I had the language for the ends. In the arms of someone patient enough to know me, in the silence that a real connection makes, in the moment when the road stopped being running and started being something that I chose. And everything before that moment was just directions to it. Home was never a place, it was always a feeling. Home was never a place, it was always the people. It was where you finally belong, where you finally belong. So if you're out there on the road right now, wondering where the feeling lives, it isn't in the destination, it isn't in the miles, it's in the moment you stop running long enough to recognize it when it arrives. Tonight